And we're recording.
Yep, you're recording.
Okay, guess we'll start this informational meeting on the town meeting day articles. Guess we'll just call a meeting to order, and we'll probably just jump right in to take questions from people. See what you have going on. All right.
Anyone have questions? Brian? All right, go ahead and unmute you, Brian.
On page 10, that $81,380, where did that come from?
Ten of the budget.
No, it's not in your stuff.
Page 10,
Select-board report?
correct.
Why is it not?
On page 10. Where did it come from? We reduced the budget by 81,000. We didn't spend that much because we didn't have much going on around town.
You overspent the budget. According to the budget. But this Act 102, did anybody read to see what that said?
What's the question?
The Act 102, the same page.
I don't know.
Just after the 81,380.
Yeah.
According to Act 102, S 344, did anybody read what to see what that said?
I didn't.
Brian Savage brought sent it in, I figured.
What is the actual question you're asking us, Brian? Do we know by heart what Act 102 is?
Right.
No.
Because the way I read it is like, all the penalties and interest was waived till January 1st of this year.
Yeah.
But we charge penalties and interest of this year.
No, you didn't charge penalties and interest.
This is on property tax. According to that, whatever was in that bill there, it was no interest and no penalties. It was all to be waived until January 1st of this year.
Well, I'm digging that out. Anybody else got any questions?
Is this in reference to something specific, Brian, or?
Well, I look at it like you say you reduce the budget, but when you read that, it's like, the way I read it, it'd be like you'd have less revenue coming in, because you wouldn't have that, no interest and no penalty. No, true.
We had less revenue coming in, yeah, but we also had less expenses. You look at the budget from last year, what we actually spent, there was a few things that were under budget there.
But if you look on page 25, and you summary there, you overspent the budget. You need to overspend the budget, but you also put $56,000 in the bank. then that's reducing it to 81,000. Am I correct?
Well, since you probably got it all highlighted, why don't you walk us through what you're talking about?
You know, page 25,
Yep.
where it says 2020 budget,
Yep.
total expenditures. Is that the budget, that number?
The hundred and, the one,
There's no dates on none of this stuff, so it's hard to figure out what's supposed to be on what date.
That's for the end of the year,
Right, that 1,434,744.
right? Yeah,
And it says received to date, 1,657,423.34. That's what you spent, correct?
yep,
So that's $222,679.34 over.
yep.
Plus you put $56,000 in the bank.
where's the $56,000 going into the bank? That's where I'm not.
19. I think that's the general fund, but bank statement.
Well, we ended up with more money coming in than you look at the state and federal reimbursement there, the state aid to highways. More this year because, they didn't do those class 2 grants at all. So we only budgeted because we were gonna receive 110,000, but we, same as we had the previous year, but we ended up with 143,000. So that was different. And then on, some of the fees here, the copier income and recording fees, some of that stuff was a little higher. We ended up getting in almost 40,000 there, we only budgeted 26. We ended up with more income coming in than we had planned for, I guess.
That's because you had a zero on delinquent taxes in the budget.
Do you know how much delinquent tax we're gonna collect at the beginning of the year?
I think an average of the last 4 years. If you can look back on that and see what the average is.
You don't have the same numbers.
But if you're getting delinquent taxes paid, how are you gonna know you're gonna have the same average?
That's just an average. This year you put 50,000 in, where did you get that number from?
I think we'd already received it.
Because we have two.
Oh.
Well, anyways, that's where it is. It's a few different things here and there. But
Then if you go on page 30. The year 2019. Do the math, just do the math, tell me if it works out.
I'm guessing it doesn't. That's why you're asking us.
Correct. If that number is wrong, all the other numbers are wrong in the book pertaining to that. Correct?
Hello?
think there was a.
Okay, what else you got, man?
When you voted for the outside audit, there was 4 in favor, 1 no. Who was the 1 no?
I was,
Reason?
I wanted to keep local.
We were voting on which company we were hiring, no, whether we were doing it or not.
Just 3 companies we're choosing from. The motion made for one company to, was meant to take the contract, and that's what we voted for.
Did we pay the $12,000 or $14,000 for that was for this?
For this what?
Have this audit done?
The audit is in process, right?
They started in.
Because that was over the minutes of meeting that number, correct?
We signed a contract with them, yeah.
And to me, it's like, this is what we get for our money? I look at this.
Yeah, the outside auditors don't print the book, Brian. And these numbers might have been just a mistake when we printed the book. They don't write all this stuff up for you. They don't write the select board report, and they don't write this budget here comes right off the computer. And we put in the numbers for the budget, and then the actual numbers come off of what she's actually spent for the different accounts. If there's some numbers messed up, and those outside auditors don't come in and write up these reports and do all these budget numbers for us. We do the budget numbers ourselves.
Okay, you can see it come off the computer. You go to page 19.
Saying the expenses come off the computer, the budget numbers come from us.
On this type of-
Okay,
Those numbers add up to me. Number 19.
Yeah,
They add up to me. On page 30, those 2019 numbers add up.
Yeah, they do.
I just did it twice.
you started with 76, you ended with 14. What's the number in the middle?
That was 76.
Under the, says the tax or
so,
76,
Oh.
658?
Oh, I was doing the actual 2019, not up there. Okay, up there.
what do you have for issues on page 19, Brian?
The delinquent penalty, that's 8%. That's a given number, correct? Am I correct?
I believe so, yeah.
So you take 8% of delinquent taxes, does it equal that number?
I don't know, does it?
No.
Can't be.
I know why that was, because there was 2 current uses that came in the end of the year that had to be paid out. And it hits that number, because that's the one that, because that's what's, the only thing that's open in taxes is delinquent.
Yeah.
After December, or whatever it is, 17th this year. So it automatically hits that number.
It's that one.
That one. Because current taxes are closed on November 17th this year.
Yeah, Brian.
Last year, zeroed out.
If you moved them, I could have moved them, I guess, at the end of the year, did a journal entry. But it's the same. I mean, I either take it out of current taxes or out of delinquent taxes.
I didn't get that. The current tax is delinquent taxes, right? I got that. But if it's delinquent, It should equal that 8%.
But that's why.
She collected two after,
No, I had to pay to current use over payments. And the only thing that's open after November 17th is current tax, or delinquent taxes, so that's the account it is.
56.
understand that?
You take the overpayment out of the penalty,
You take the overpayment out of the delinquent taxes.
but it's not on the penalty. The penalty is the penalty.
The penalty is correct, it's the delinquent tax amount that's not correct. That has payments come out of it.
You're saying the delinquent tax number is wrong?
I'd have to check for sure, but how much is it off? $37?
No,
What is it off?
$35.41.
$35. The machine automatically does the interest, so if they paid more interest or less interest or less penalty, is it interest or penalty that we're off? Penalty, correct?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the machine automatically does it, calculates.
Are you still working on page 30?
Yeah, I got through the tax part and that number adds up fine. Now I'm on the collected and going through that one.
Just go across the line now. 19.
I added all 2019. Oh, on the top? Oh, go across it. Okay.
Is there any other questions out there? Comments?
I think it tells that this one has a time.
They can unmute themselves. That's all I have to do. They all have the ability to just unmute themselves. Uh, 50.62. Minus 0.58 equals minus 65. Oh. Yeah, it's 3,000, 2,000. I come up with $11,620.49. Brian, did you come up with $11,620.49?
I did it the other way.
Okay, which way did you do?
Instead of collecting $65,
Hello?
Hello? We can hear you. Tell them.
Have a check this out.
Hello,
Yes, go ahead. Identify yourself, please.
this is Jeffrey Cattell.
Hello, Jeffrey. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, not too bad. I was wondering about the vote on the town forest.
Yeah.
Was it gonna be all town forests, or there was any other uses?
Well, I don't know exactly what it's gonna be used for, but, we were looking to see if it should be designated as a town forest or just leave it as town-owned land. Because there is, grants and other possibilities out there when you have it designated as a town forest to do projects. But, anything in particular, we hadn't really decided, you know, we hadn't said we want it to be a town forest so we can put a bike path through it or something like that. No, we're just looking to see whether we should designate it as a town forest.
Does that limit development if you have it on a town forest designation?
Yes, it would. I don't think we'd be able to do any buildings on that. And I don't know if there's any place to build on that land anyways, is there, you know? There's not a lot of road access there.
When we had the county forester here, she said at the most there was two possible building lots based on the terrain and everything else there.
Wow, on 70
That's
acres?
just, that was her input.
Yeah. I had a different thought on the planning committee. I'm on the planning committee, and let's see. Nancy West knows the person's name, but they were talking about rail trail parking lot. And I thought maybe a parking lot there and trade for maybe a sewer pipe and gas pipe and water pipe underneath 105 with no restrictions. And that would make a lot more housing units over there, I think. Are you hearing me still?
Yep.
They had mentioned, one of the things, that might be possible would be for grants and stuff, was building a parking lot. It would also, coexist for the, rail trail.
She had $60,000 last year. And I think she was gonna, I was hoping she was gonna offer some of that to the town of Sheldon, because we have two rail trails. And the other spot for a parking lot was behind the Historical Society. I had in mind two of them there, you know, one down on that land and one up here to, you know, Sheldon's pretty fortunate to have two rail trails, I think. I think we're the only town in the state that has two rail trails. I'm not sure about that.
So you can park here in one spot and go 4 different directions. It's a good asset for the town.
Exactly. And then I thought of solar panels down on that field, maybe, or that land. You know, it's ideal for that. It's pretty close to the power grid. But anyways, it was just my thought. I was wondering if you had a forest designation, what could you do with it? And it sounds like you could just let the deer run around in there. I was thinking.
I think it limits quite a bit if you do have it designated, I think. You know,
Yeah, I was thinking close to the village setting like that, it would be more useful maybe for development of some sort. But anyways, that's my only comment and question. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, no. Anyone else have any questions or comments?
Brian, I wanted to follow up with you on your question about S344 and 81,000. I wanted to know if you were more concerned about the interest accruing for educational purposes still, or just the fact that we an adjustment of the property tax rate that the bill allowed. I was kind of unclear on what your concern was when you mentioned S344 earlier.
The way I read the bill, or whatever you want to call it there, it was like the town would waive all the interest and all the penalties up until January 1st on delinquent taxes. That's the way I read the bill. I don't really.
It gives the option. Yeah, it gives the option to temporarily.
Good. Is this message from Brian Savage for you, Brian?
No, that's to us.
No, okay. That our representative Brian Savage sent a message here, and it says that these temporary provisions authorize deadline extension, waiver of penalties and fees, and adjustment of municipal tax rates by the legislative body of the municipality. I've attached a copy of the act for your reference. Please note that this is a permissive language and not mandatory language as to whether you wish to make the adjustments as authorized in the act. And as a board, we discussed waiving the late fees for water and sewer. And we have been doing that, but we didn't act on waiving the late fees on delinquent taxes. And that's why they're still getting charged.
Can somebody challenge it?
They can come see us about it, but it's our, according to the state, it's our decision whether we wish to authorize and make those adjustments. And we discussed it, and that's what we came up with. I mean, yeah, you can come in and challenge, and we've had people that have requested. I mean, we've had water bills when they had a broken water line that was, their water bill was high, the meter was, the readings were high. We've made adjustments to that before. We've waived some, what's it called? Baited some taxes that were, property ones, not property, but, yeah, we have done some property, but we've abated some of the personal property ones there where they owe 50 cents or something, and the paperwork's gonna cost more money than it would be to collect that, those small fees on some of the personal property and stuff.
And to say that, you send a bill out for 69 cents.
Yeah,
We've seen it.
we don't do everything right 100% of the time, but we try to please what we can and do what we can to make it as efficient as we can, but we're not perfect by no means. We do what we discuss it, and we do what we think is the right thing for the town. And not everybody agrees with us, I guess, but we do what we consider the best we can do.
I looked at it, you reduced in theory, you just reduced the tax rate by $81,000, but you also still bank $56,000. So I look at it, if you hadn't reduced that, would have been $130,000 swing in money.
Yeah. But then next year when we come up short and we have to more, then the year after that, the tax rate's really taking up. We're just trying to level things out, right? And it's all this budget work we do is just a guess. You can have a bridge fall in the river over there that the town owns, and our tax rates are gonna go nuts because we don't have the money to do all that, or we're gonna have to take some big loan and you're gonna pay on that for the next 20, 30 years, but you can't predict what's gonna happen. You know, and the expenses, you don't know, we could get, you know, we've had winters that they've had to go out and salt and sand every day because it just glazes over and they burn up the whole sand pile. Then you have winters where you don't use half of it, you know? So there's a half of the sand pile there that you said, well, these guys spent all summer trucking that sand over there for nothing. We didn't even use it. But you never know what you're gonna get, you know?
Or you pay more for it in the middle of winter.
Yeah, or you run short in the middle of winter and then you pay, you know, almost twice as much for the sand. But it's just, I mean, we're just making an educated guess on what we think is gonna happen. The same with the money part of it. I mean, it's, you know, we look at what we spent and we hope not to incur big expenses and my theory going into this is don't spend a lot of extra money, keep the budget as tight as you can, but you've got to spend some money or else things are going to fall apart around it too. You know? So that's what we've come up with. And, you know, that extra money, I mean, is it extra money? I don't know. Maybe this year it is. Maybe next year when you read your book, you're gonna say, oh, you overspent by 200,000, there's no money in the checking account, we had to borrow from line of credit, we weren't able to pay it all back. People wouldn't pay their taxes. You know, it is what it is. As far as I'm concerned.
The other thing is the legal part, I think it has something to do with the hydro.
That's, yeah, that's basically, we've had a couple other little legal things. We've had some Fernledge Road, we turned into a class 4 road. We had some legal work to get that all converted. We've got hydro plants, you know, questioning their taxes. They wanna, you know, so we've had to get an attorney to fight that. We had to pay the appraiser again to go through that.
5% of our revenue taxes.
The hydro plant, what the hydro grant brings in for taxes, so it's worth, you know, getting it
I
done
know
right.
what the bill is.
Yeah, but you gotta also realize what we're trying to reduce it. I mean,
I looked at it, there was 5 residents to say that paid a quarter of the tax base.
Yeah, I mean, our tax rate would be a lot different if it wasn't for the two big industries.
Brian, there was another consideration too, because obviously it's been an unusual year. So trying to plan for the unknown after what everyone's been experiencing, staying at home, and it hasn't been business as usual for a lot of people. So, you know, some of those considerations played into how much to set aside for the unknown of next year once things start opening back up. So it's, you know, it's a little bit different too, trying to plan for whatever next year may look like after the year that we all just had.
Right, I've been on that side of the table, I know what it's all about. When I look at it too, it's like, you overspent the budget, but not by just overspending the budget, you put money in the bank. I can see if you overspent the budget, and the bank balance went down, but when the bank balance goes up when you overspend, it's like, how do you do that?
Well, you know, you look at the bulk of taxes, I think this year we're in good shape. You know, I think that more tax money came in than expected. At the beginning of the year with everything going on, you know, we were thinking we were gonna have a pile of people that weren't gonna be able to pay their taxes. And tax money came in good. I think, next year delinquent tax money came in. Our delinquents are going down still. And like I said, we had some other income from the state and stuff there, road money and a few other programs in there that I think has helped our help their checking account.
Jeff, did you still have a question? His hand is up. Guess not.
Rick, are you on there?
Yes. It's right here.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, my question was on Article 6, if that's voted in to be a designated town forest, is the board going to designate it a town forest? Is there any wiggle room in that?
What kind of wiggle room are you thinking of, Jeff?
Well, maybe not a town forest, but is that definite? If they voted in town forest, it's going to be a town forest?
I think that, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but my understanding of the conversations that we had after the studies happened was that it was basically not to sell it off and to keep the option open to the town to do what they want with it, whether it's develop into a town forest, find another use that everyone agrees on. But it was just not to sell that piece of land that's sitting there, not costing the town anything.
Yeah, okay, all right, yeah. Well, it is costing the town something. You could sell it off and have some more tax money. But anyways, that's another story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we were trying to get input from the townspeople. It's the same with that other article on the ATV use on the town roads. It isn't set in stone that that's gonna happen on either of those, but we're trying to get the pulse of the townspeople, whether they think it's a good idea or if they think it's a bad idea.
yeah.
The ATV use deal, that article there is, we're trying to get an idea of what people in town think. And we've had some people come in that support it, but, you know, that's a small majority of the townspeople. So we're hoping to see what their thoughts on it, whether they would like to see that happen, but we still have to do an ordinance on that.
Yeah, okay. That sounds great to me. I was just wondering.
Yeah, I think that town forest thing's the same thing. We're trying to get a feel of what people would prefer, or, you know, if there's some strong support for it or not. And then I guess the more we make a decision on what we do with that and how we approach that.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
Do you want to have Rick speak?
It's just Rick there.
Yeah, Rick's there. Rick, would you like to say anything about the fire department?
There, I can finally, you must allow me to unmute. You hear me?
Sorry about this.
Yeah, no, fire department's doing great. You know, we just as high number of individuals showing up week after week, training and so on. Checking off equipment and so forth, but knock on wood, we started to get shots, the COVID shots for all the members because we're
Packers, the whole half of it was showing, so I got a good look.
other than that, things going well. Unless questions for me. I don't know if you guys.
Make sure you're over there.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Did you have any questions for me or?
I didn't have anything.
No, I don't think so. We didn't know if you had any comments you want to make.
No, I appreciate the invite to the meeting and to be part of, the community, so on and so forth. If it's ever anything that you guys need from me or from the department, by all means, let us know. We're here. We're willing to help anybody and everybody, and whenever we can, so. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Keep up the good work.
If anyone wants to be unmuted, just push the raise a hand feature and I can unmute you.
What else we got to talk about for the meeting? The vote. Anything else?
Thank you.
Do you want to wait a couple more minutes and then exit out of this and then enter into our select board meeting? Or will we do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the things we can, talk about, if anybody out there knows, we've got some open positions in the town here. We're currently looking for a zoning administrator, animal control officer, library board needs more trustees. The other boards, the ERB board and the planning commission have people's terms that are coming up. Someone else wants to throw their name in the hat. You know, we can, that can be discussed. What are the positions that are open? There's a lister position open. Lots of fun things to do down here if anybody wants to. Heard too many people keying up their mics. Maybe somebody will come for me. And the voting is gonna be, anybody needs a ballot for this town meeting day, they can stop in and pick one up, right? Or you can mail them to you. Or we're gonna have drive-through voting on, town meeting day, Tuesday, March 2nd.
Yeah, forget it.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I was wondering where Greg was tonight.
Greg is at home, he was hoping to get on the Zoom, but I haven't seen him yet.
Let's see. Yeah. How are we gonna wish him retirement if he's not there at the meeting.
I know, it's kind of messed up. I was hoping to do something nice for him at town meeting, but we can't have town meeting. So I'm not sure. We're gonna have to plan something, Jeff.
That's what I was thinking too. He's been there a long time.
Been there a long time. Both him and his wife have put a lot of time in this town. School and the town stuff.
Yeah, I think they grew up here too.
So, we'll have to try to do something for him.
Well, it'd be nice to do something for him.
Yeah, we're gonna miss him here. I know that.
And oh yeah, you guys are doing a pretty good job too.
Yeah.
Nobody tells you that enough. But anyways, you have a good evening. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I do unmute.
I think you probably did the show.
Okay.
Show you. Oh, honey.
I got Callie, Graham, Jamie, Whitehead, Katie, Cattell's, Nathan, Northwest, Ray, Bushy, and Rick Piazni. Oh, so people are leaving.
You know, Ray.
So they're for the select board meeting. Okay.
I had talked to Sandy already, but I think they're more interested in trying to figure out if they can get a permit by a certain date. So that was one of the was the big question.
I'm ready to make a motion if you are.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a motion to end the informational meeting for the town of Sheldon, and I'll make that motion.
All right, second motion. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are gonna jump right into our regular select board meeting. Anybody welcome to stay and listen to that, or? And, just move out our business, I guess. Anybody have any questions during that meeting, they can ask too. All right, so we'll open the meeting. Yeah.
We did. He left.
All right, I'll read the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Backlogging this.
February 22nd, 2021, town office. We've been through the town meeting informational meeting. Tonight we have to look at the historical society brownfield report. We have some zoning permits to deal with. Representatives from the Rail Trail Council, is that gonna call in?
No, it's we.
Oh, we need to, okay. Well, there we go, we got another job. Representatives from the Rail Trail Council, we need to approve February 8th meeting minutes, sidewalks and side and fleet permits. And is there anything else?
Northwest Regional has a number here for zoning.
And I believe Ray and Sandy Bushy were,
Tim.
oh, sorry, Tim. Maybe he was the wrong Bushy, sorry, my bad. I thought that they were gonna be on the Zoom meeting.
Yeah, well, the meeting, normal meeting doesn't start till 7, so they can still get in.
They wanted to just talk, maybe to see about giving the information for that contact and then talked about a few other ideas as far as raising their elevation. They wanted to be, I think their biggest question was about getting permit at a certain date. They needed to have a contract for their new home type of deal.
I don't think it's a problem, so I think the information in there from the zone,
That's not my regular that.
yes.
I'd like to add personnel policy into that and some executive session action. All the fun we can stand, you know?
Yep. We'll do that at the end of the meeting.
Yep. And you saw Jamie's on. No, she's, do you want to?
Kim's leaving too.
Hi, Jamie. How are you doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
Good. Did you have something you wanted to speak to us about?
No, I just figured I'd listen for a little while.
You got a lot going on your Monday night, huh?
Well, they're playing video games at my house. That's all they do here. I can't hear what you guys are talking about. I don't know if other people have a hard time hearing it, but it's really difficult to hear. I think Seth is the loudest person.
He's sitting on the microphone.
Where's that external one we had? You don't know where it is? It's in the vault. Can't get to it. What? No, I'm good. I'll turn it a little closer to you.
All right, so. Where else? Sorry, brownfield report. Joe, you
So for that one there, basically, talked with Greta, and they, the contamination on the site, they need to do some more tests to see if contamination is gonna stay the way it is in the groundwater, or if it's gonna leak into Black Creek. So basically what the meeting was about was to find out if the board would approve them to do more testing. But it's funded, it's not gonna cost the town anything. And then the other thing they talked about was a potential soil cap down the road. But we could sort of limit our costs on the soil cap by creative landscaping with shrubs and bushes to keep people off certain areas. So you only have to cap the space that you're really actually going to use as a historical society.
So this is behind the building?
So
The front and the tank where that's all done.
the map that I'm looking at is essentially everything outside of the building is somewhat contaminated. But the main access to the building for use for public, you could easily, it wouldn't cost much to cap that, so to speak. You have to put a fabric barrier and then so many inches of gravel. So if you wanted to, maintain 15 feet around the building with gravel, it wouldn't be a very big project. The town, that we did talk about where we can get fill from for that, because we have to have the fill tested prior to bringing it in. As long as it's from a licensed source, such as a gravel pit, shouldn't need additional testing for the site. So we could potentially just truck it from town garage down and fill it. As far as the historical society's plan for river access, they talked about maybe using it for kayaks and stuff like that. Again, you could As far as the soil cap goes, you could limit that by not having the whole site, open to the public. The next step though is to do further testing on the contaminated soils and see if they claim, if there's any chance they migrate, but most likely we can get away with the soil cap on the area to make it open for public, and we can limit how much we spend by landscaping.
So is that something we have to give them the okay to do this next testing? Or?
Correct. I told Greta that I'd email her tomorrow. I told her I didn't anticipate the board having a problem with it. I mean, it's not gonna, there's still enough money in their grant to cover the additional testing, and it'll tell us if we have a bigger problem or not. And then we'll kind of go forward from there.
So I guess just,
I'll make a motion to move forward.
I'll second it.
Nick, you on board with this?
Thank you for unmuting me, Seth. I'll second. If I'm too late for the second, then I'll vote yeah.
Okay. So everybody's in favor of going on with the further testing? All right,
Yep.
we'll, Joe will get a hold of them then, I guess, and tell them to go forward with some more testing. Representative for Rail Trail County. What's that job entail? You
I don't really know, Louis, what's that? And I know Jeff is saying he expressed he would like to be.
Okay.
Did he not like or done different?
Is there meetings involved in this? What do we got?
How do we get more information on that sort of thing? I can't hear it that well. Is she near a microphone?
It came from Northwest Regional.
Nothing else?
Steve's reading.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. We got an email from Amy Adams. She's anyway. It says, "Hi Kim, Marie Bruyette currently represents Sheldon for the rail trail, but she's let me know she's not able to continue. Has anyone else shown interest in joining the rail trail council?" So I guess we need to find somebody to jump on that.
I can email her back and find out what's involved, and then I'll send a response to Kim so she can send it to the board, and I'll have a better idea what it's gonna take.
Yeah, I know they have meetings, but I don't know if it's monthly or, how often they meet. They just kind of discuss what the state has plans, I think, or ideas.
That's a Missisquoi Valley one?
That is.
Not this one here,
Right, I believe so, unless it's both of them together, but I know that they had, Missisquoi Valley is an established.
right?
Why don't you get going? But anyways, Joe will dig up some more information, but if you know somebody along the way that's looking for a fun evening, they can jump on that board. That's from February 8th, maybe.
Get some sign.
All right, I'm gonna read the meeting minutes from our last meeting, which was February 8th of 2021. It's held here at the town office, present with Stephen Dodd, Greg Stebbins, Kim Dufresne, Seth Patel. Via Zoom, Seth Hummerford, Joe Dunleavy, and Nick Norris. Opened the meeting at 7:40 and read the agenda. Joe made motion to enter into executive session, seconded by Nick. And at 8:45, we exited executive session. We discussed employee issues. And we went back into the regular meeting at 8:45. Nick motion to add Jacob Kane to the Northwest Communication Union District. And we were all in favor of that. I read the January 25th meeting minutes. Joe motion to accept as read, seconded by Seth, and all in favor. We signed warrants 2105 and 2106. We approved the 2020 street compliance report. And Joe said he would contact Tim and Sandy Bushy about their question on the floodplain. Seth motion to adjourn, seconded by Joe, and all in favor. Meeting adjourned at 9:15. Take a motion to accept those minutes as read.
I'll make a motion.
All right. Nick, you want to
Second.
that? All right.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I like how you're including it, you know, making sure that she's welcome.
Thanks for not muting me, Steve.
You're right here with us, Nick.
She's not watching.
These are the same ones you sent us today, right? Huh?
That's what you're.
Well, while everyone is signing what I assume is the warrants, did we want to discuss the other email that Kim had sent us about the zoning?
Sure. This one right here, the one from Catherine Dimitri.
We have someone that,
Yeah. Nick's really.
and, Tony, they were thinking about co-doing,
Who was the second?
Tony,
Weed?
weed on School Street.
Didn't she on something?
She's, DRB.
And Nick, you had someone too, right, that was interested in the zoning as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's unofficial. I just had a name passed along to me to check with and contact information. I don't want to put their name on this meeting right now without talking to them first, but they were recommended by Rick. So I'd like to check with them before we enter into an agreement with Highgate on something that appeared to be a lot more per hour than we currently are. I'd like to kind of, meet in the middle on something if we can.
Nick, I think we missed part of your thing. You were froze in time. like a statue. We got the part where you said, Rick recommended this person, you didn't want to say the name on camera without speaking to them. Did you say anything else before that?
Not before. No, I was just looking at the breakdown in that letter, and it was like 5 hours a week. And I think what our current budget is, or a little more. And I think that, breaks down to a little bit more than what we're paying now per hour, which I'm not opposed to, but I just didn't know if we wanted to check with, exhaust all options first before signing up for that.
If we can find a local resident that's qualified to do that work, I'd be happy to look at that.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to the individual, and I'll have hopefully an answer before next meeting.
I can also reach out if you want, Mr. Nick.
I passed along that contact information to you, right?
Yeah, I can reach out to him. I'm friendly with the individual. I can reach out. And see.
Okay.
Kim, and you said you had 2 people who were thinking about co-doing it?
They're both on DRB, so I don't know how that
So,
They'd have to. Yeah, that's kind of a conflict when it comes to meetings. The zoning administrator has to bring stuff to the DRE.
Well,
I mean,
we
they
can
would
follow.
probably would have to get off the work and things. I don't think you can be on the whole.
Arguing against?
Well, the zoning.
Not the zoning, yeah.
Actually, they just present the facts of what the applicant, the applicant will come in and present their case, and the zoning administrator will come in and go over the bylaws of the town and say, this is what our bylaws say, and then the DRE board has to make a decision whether they, grant variance if it doesn't meet the town bylaws, or if they, accept it, or if they shoot it down, or ask for another meeting, So I don't know if that would work. I think we lose 2 people off the board for one job. But we'll see, I guess. Throw that option in.
I think Jamie's still in the chat, and she had proposed something. Jamie, are you there still? You want to speak to something?
Sorry. I was just thinking, you're talking about the zoning and covering and having enough income. Our zoning permit rates are really cheap compared to neighboring towns. And it's something that I've talked to Kim in the past about, and just kind of throwing out there. And I feel like we should at some point as a town relook at how we charge for permits on new builds, additions, sheds, all that kind of stuff. A lot of people do it by square foot. And that would allow you to cover more of like the zoning office and maybe other departments. And we wouldn't have to raise it through taxes.
Yeah, I know, not that many years ago, we used to have the impact fees. And so we always kept the permit fees down because we were collecting that impact fee, but that's gone away, and I don't think we ever adjusted our permit. So that is a good suggestion, Jamie. We need to look at that.
Yeah, we're pretty cheap here in Sheldon. $60 is a really cheap permit to build. That's all. I've heard that, and I've looked around, and it is significantly cheaper. Like other towns can cost upward of $1,000 to put a new house.
Sorry, you didn't quite pause, but you had a little bit of a giddy up in your speech. Can you start that over?
You had a little robot action going on there. You were kind of like,
Sorry, I don't know. I'm on fiber, so I don't know why it's so slow. I just know we're cheap here. So that's why I wanted to throw that out there. I've compared to all neighboring towns and I made like a chart, but that was a few months ago.
Yeah, that'll be something we need to look at.
Thank you.
He's on IR for the moment.
Food permits.
He's on hold.
All right.
Thank you. 2008-329-0 Emily Norris. Pattern, hi.
You're welcome, Doug.
I have one call.
Then you're call back.
No, we'll call back.
Yes, fancy. Big manila envelope.
Because that could come here. And then we're like, he's back up in here.
Should just hold now, we keep going.
2008-329-0 Emily Norris.
We got some paperwork here from the Agency of Transportation about application to have one accepted for town highway structures, town highway class 2 roadway variant program. Must be septic, all this stuff, right? 'Cause he had said he was gonna.
Really gonna take a little more time to read it. So we'll see. Then this is something Seth's gonna fill out.
And you should do all that stuff, do all these, all those ones. Yeah, so if you call to V-Trans, they would help and go through all of that stuff.
Yeah. Do work with him some guidance too if he needed some. All right. I need a motion to go to executive session.
I'll make a motion.
Make a motion.
Seth will second that.
I'll second that.
We're gonna go into executive session to discuss our employee policy, and when we come out of executive session, we're gonna adjourn. So I guess we are done taping for the night. And
Bye, Jamie.
we will be on.
Thank you, Jamie.